looks like a fucking Food Network show.
Good morning. Thank you for joining me on Upscale Cooking in a Downward Economy. I'm your host, Eric Davis. Guess what? This morning we're making for you a fantastic breakfast. We're getting an early start here today on the show. A French pressed coffee that has been brought in from Uganda. It's actually Ugandan mountain coffee, fair trade. They pick the beans, they put the beans in burlap sacks, they ship it across the country on their backs or on the back of camels. They put them on freighters. The next thing you know, the freighters bring them over to the United States and other countries that don't matter. Not only that, here's a special part. We're going to be using a garlic rubbed Portuguese tile crouton that has been pan crusted in our piping hot skillet. It's going to be crunchy on the outside. It's from Portugal. It is bread. It is in the shape of a tile. It's going to have zip on there. You know why? Because fresh garlic that has been rubbed over the top of any surface, especially bread, gives it this impeccable zip. Poached egg with a brown butter drizzle. The poached eggs are going to be done in a copper pot. Why? Because it's upscale cooking in a downward economy. That's why. Cereal and milk. What is that? That's just so common, you may as well have it on something called downscale cooking. We're going to be using a honey almond crunch. It's almost like a flax. It has the omega-3s, it's got some protein, it's got some fiber, like every other cereal on the planet. And instead of milk, we're going to be using a chilled vanilla bean ice cream mush. Vanilla beans, where do they come from? I don't know. Doesn't matter. They're in our ice cream mush. That's the only thing that matters on upscale cooking in a downward economy. We're having ice cream for breakfast. What are you going to do about it? Nothing.
Upscale Cooking in a Downward Economy with your host, Eric Davis. He'll set your double ovens on fire. No matter where you are, you can stretch that dollar far. It's upscale cooking in a downward economy.
Well, it's time for our French pressed coffee. We've got our French press, we've got our Ugandan coffee beans. If you want to take 2 tablespoons of Folgers Crystals or instant coffee and then throw it into a mug of boiling water, and if you want to drink that and have a gritty feel like you've been eating rotten steamers, then so be it.
People in the East, can you bounce to this? People in the West, can you bounce to this? People up north, can you bounce to this? Can you bounce to this?
How long does it take to boil water? Anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. Granted, I've got a Thermador Professional gas range here because I happen to be quite fortunate. Oh my goodness. You hear that? Now it's time to get the press going. Now we're going to let that steep for 4 minutes. Why? Because that's how long it takes. We're not making sandwiches today. We are, however, going to make a garlic rubbed Portuguese tile crouton. Why wouldn't you just put it in a toaster? We don't have a toaster. Why? Because we're upscale. Let's toast this bread. The oils from the inside of the garlic clove, they're releasing all over the crusty bread. It's going to add this great garlicky zip to it. It's almost a little bit spicy, but not hot. It's almost sensual. Okay, well it's time to make our poached eggs. You've heard of hard-boiled eggs before? That is with the shell on. How do you make poached eggs? You take the shell off first. Let's get poaching. This isn't the end that's supposed to do the swirling. The wires do the swirling. That's why you grab something called the handle. Now we're going to poach our egg. And there is one egg that is beginning to poach. Our poached eggs are done. You could use a slotted spoon, you could use steak tongs. I don't recommend using your bare hand. The water is piping hot and you'll scald yourself. What I like to do is trim off the edges so it's just really neat and just makes almost a perfect circle. A perfect round circle. And yes, I mean perfect. Alright, well it's time to make our brown butter sauce. I am simply going to take a healthy amount of butter, probably a half stick. It's also 4 tablespoons, but why would you say 4 tablespoons when you could simply say half stick?
Come on, pump it up. Here we go. Come on, pump it up. Here we go. Come on,
Is it sweet? Is it spice? Does it set the night off nice? Can you dig it? Yeah, that's it.
Hi. And now I'm going to add some salt and pepper with my salt and pepper shakers that I picked up on the island of Nantucket. Well, we've got our brown butter sauce. Now this is going to go right over the top of the eggs. Now I'm not going to soak them, but I do want to get a little bit of the brown butter drizzle. It just gives it that butter flavor that you expect at breakfast time. Eric, you're going to pour butter over the top of eggs? Yeah.
I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her.
All right, well here we go. No fork needed, no spoon needed. I'm just going to use my hands, and why not? The tile crouton is so crispy, it's acting like a shelf for my wonderfully poached soft egg. Here goes. The first thing I'm getting is the garlic, like I promised. On that Portuguese tile crouton. I almost taste Portugal. It's crunchy. Here comes the garlic, brown butter. All over my palate. The egg is so soft. Crispy crouton, the Portuguese style crouton, followed by the softness of a slow poached egg that came out of a copper pot. Let's see how crispy and crunchy this is with our friend Twix. Now that's crunchy. This is Upscale. I think I made this for $1.25 a piece. Here's a tip for you. Make this recipe and make it soon. Uganda, we're Uganda, I Ganda too. I Ganda drink this coffee. Push the press down, the good stuff comes to the surface. I wish you could be here with me to just take the first sip. The first sip is always the best sip. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our vanilla bean ice cream mush. Why would you have ice cream for breakfast? My question to you is, why wouldn't you? I've got some rice, I've got some buckwheat. I'm gonna toast these up with some honey. It makes these unbelievable clusters. Go sniff around your backyard, pick up some things that you wouldn't normally pick up and put them in your mouth. Smell them, chew them. Really get down and dirty with what you have growing in your yard. Oh my God, it's creamy. It's creamy because of the ice cream vanilla bean mush. And they're the crunch from the grains in my yard. Now, I am powered up and ready for a day. I'm ready to commute somewhere. I want to go for a nice hour-and-a-half ride to get to my desk and sit down for 8 hours at some place that I absolutely hate. Spit just flew out of my mouth twice.